Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Orange County Industrial Development Agency Board Meeting for May 13th, 2026. Roll call, please, Bill.
Jeffrey Christ.
Here.
Dean Tamburri.
Here.
Lee Benton.
Here.
Mark Green.
Here.
Giovanni Palladino.
Here.
Dr. Vincent Odock.
Yeah.
6 of 7 board members present. An excused absence for Linda Muller. For staff, myself, Bill Fioravanti, Kelly Riley, General Counsel, Lino Sharetta, and Rudy Zoda. On audio visual, we have Mason Bobadilla. We have our state monitor, Brian Sandage. And for guests, we have Mr. Rick Minicozzi representing the Southgate Flats Hotel. And we have Michael Jeremias and Helen Pidio representing the Silver Lake Ridge Apartments Complex project.
Thank you,
That is
Bill.
everyone.
We do have proof of notice of this meeting on page 2 of our packet. And moving right to the minutes for our April 15th, 2026 meeting. Anybody care to make a motion to approve those? Motion by Mark, second by Dean, thank you. Additions, corrections? Hearing none. All in favor, please, on the minutes?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? The minutes are carried. Moving right into my chairman's report. One neat meeting just last week was with the Federal Reserve Bank of New York President, John Williams. And I was at a round table in the morning with him, a group of business people that included the SUNY Orange president, the head of the Garnet Hospital, and I represented Ag and Economic Development. And he spoke to, the president spoke to housing as a very big need, something they have an eye on. They see the need for affordable housing, and that coupled in with food insecurity and medical costs. People are in a lot of people are in financial need in the lower half of the income category. So it was interesting. He had a team of, 6 people there from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York listening. Some of them participated in the conversation, and it was neat to see. The afternoon meeting was at Mount St. Mary's College. Mark was in attendance, and Bill was in attendance at that meeting. Was that everybody? Yes. It was a question and answer. It was a little more high level and again focused on things like housing in particular. So, Mark, would you care to say anything on that?
No, I thought it was, certainly a very well-attended event at Mount St. Mary's, which is gorgeous. But I will just reiterate, he spent a lot of time talking about, the need for housing, particularly in the Hudson Valley. And, spent at least 10 minutes on that and got a few questions about it afterwards. And, it was great to see him coming to our community and willing to talk to the constituents.
Can I make a comment?
Yes, Lee.
I agree with the housing, but I would much rather prefer home ownership rather than apartments. Creating home ownership and wealth and equity rather than apartments.
I think that's a viable thought. Certainly not, the apartments fill a role and complement it, but the housing that people own would seem to be an appropriate end goal for those that can get there, definitely. Bill and I attended the Construction Contractors Association meeting of Monday night. There was a lot of people in the room, a lot of energy for economic development. It was neat to see, and I think again it could be support for housing in that group, the ones that might specialize in construction of homes. And I know that component was there.
And Dean was there as well.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, Dean, I sat right next to Dean. Any comments, Dean?
No, it was a great event, and I think you see how what the county is growing, and there's a lot going on. So just by the attendance alone. So,
And I would say Dan Depew as the CEO.
Yes.
Brings a lot of energy to the table, and it was quite a lively meeting and engaged a lot of people as well. Last thing on my chair's report is Bill and I are drafting a set of goals for 2026 for review by the board. They're based somewhat on last year's, but adjustments on what's going to be most important for this year. And you'll be sharing those with the board, and I would suggest we discuss them at our board meeting next month in June. Bill, your CEO report.
I had a pretty lengthy report in your board packet.
Yes,
I'm not gonna add
nicely
too much
done.
to it. Jeff touched on a couple of the important meetings that I was a part of, but I'm looking forward to the New York State EDC conference next week. It's the annual meeting we go to in Cooperstown. As usual, there are a long list of items that I want to speak to my colleagues about and research that can bring back best practices. So a number of issues, including talking to more of my colleagues about housing and how they're dealing with it. So looking forward to that, and Jeff will be there as well. Of course, and Lino and Rudy.
Any questions for Bill? Busy month, Bill.
Yeah.
Moving on to committee reports, Finance Committee, Mark, please.
Yes, while I'm talking about the financials, if you all could pass this down, everyone take a copy. The financials this month, rather benign. If you are looking, and you do glance, you might see something, brownfield assessment, looks like we got, $40,000. And then if you scroll down 2/3 of the way, you'll see that there was an expense of $19,800, and normally those match up. Please remember that we had 2 months of billing that were a little askew, March and April. So when those numbers are added up, it actually works out perfectly well. What came in went out. The only other really large expense that of note was that the Paris reporting. We did Paris training, that was roughly $5,000. And again, for those of you listening online, Paris reporting is the state mandated reporting by the IDA. One of two things they mandate, which is to make absolutely certain that the state is informed of what's happening here. And our latest bill, our latest Paris report came back, and I ask you again, did Paris reporting come back with anything other than a perfect score?
We've received no negative note, no question about anything yet.
And not even a recommendation of a best practice, how we could do better.
Correct.
Also, while we're at it, the state also mandates that we have to hire an independent auditor, which I believe we paid $20,000 for their fee. They have a very vested interest in justifying their $20,000 fee. And so they will come up with any way, shape, or form to come up with a recommendation of best practices, how we can do better. Bill, to your knowledge, what did they come up with this year for us?
No recommendations.
Not a single recommendation that they could come up with, and I know that made them cringe when I asked them, because again, when you charge someone $20,000 and you cannot come up with a single thing that they could do better, it is an awkward scenario for them. So thank you to you and your team for doing a fantastic job. As far as what I just passed out, Anshin reported to the governor, or to the Inspector General about their quote-unquote final report, and I printed off a page because I thought it was incredibly enlightening. On that page, you'll see that this is from them, that they broke out our expenses, and I believe our expenses were $806,000 budgeted or $804,000 budgeted for 2026, which shows how truly lean we run this operation. When I say we, I mean you, Bill. We count every paperclip. But what is included in that $804,000 is $250,000 that Anshin bills us. That is over 31% of our operating costs go to Anshin and to that man, Brian Sandvich, into his pocket. It is egregious. It is disgusting that over 31% of this organization's operating expenses go out of the county and into this person's pocket. And I thought it was important that you on the board all see this, all understand this, and when you actually see pen to paper, the number, how it jumps out at you, it is sickening. So on that, I will answer any questions that anyone may have about the finances.
And maybe you mentioned it and I missed it, but the committee recommended board approval of the 2026 financials for April and the April payables.
I did not mention it, thank you.
Any other questions for Mark? Comments? I might just ask for a motion on those April financials and payables while they're kind of teed up from the board, if anyone would care to make that motion.
Motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
I'll make the motion.
Giovanni? Dean, second. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried, thank you. And Bill, would you introduce the Southgate Flats Hotel project?
Sure, thank you. In the interest of time, I'll try and keep things moving because I know we are running a little late here now. This is actually the return of a project that was approved for incentives by the IDA, by the Orange County IDA back in 2020. It's for 135,500 square foot, 100 key boutique hotel in downtown Highland Falls, just outside the gates of the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. This has been seen by the village itself as a cornerstone project for the future development of Highland Falls. They have great hope for Highland Falls to be ranked among the Annapolises and other homes of the military academies, but it's been very depressed for many, many years now. Even in their application in New York State for the New York Forward Fund, which is kind of the mini downtown revitalization initiative, they highlight this project as one of the key indicators of the return of Highland Falls. But COVID, cost escalations have delayed this, and I'll let Mr. Minikazi, the principal for this effort, I'll let him explain it. But he's just come back because enough time has elapsed. We last approved an increase because of, again, those cost escalations, an increase to their sales tax exemption in 2022. But as you know, it's 4 years, going on 4 years since then. So council felt that it was important that actually, after so much time and the numbers changing, that Mr. Minikazi actually reapply. So we're bringing him back again, same project that was approved in 2020, but the costs have escalated now to a total project capital expenditure of $63 million on a hotel in Highland Falls. So it's quite the milestone project, no doubt about it. And the request now has been amended to asking for $4,362,000 in sales tax exemption, mortgage recording tax exemption of $354,375, and a 10-year property tax abatement or pilot through our standard category of the UTEP. So Mr. Rick Minikazi is here. He's a USMA grad himself, and as many of his colleagues and former alum are trying to spearhead this revitalization of Highland Falls. Rick, can you add to anything that I may have left out about the project in terms of just kind of the scope of it? And then tell us where you are with the project, and then let's get to your need for incentives.
Excuse me, Bill.
Sure.
I have to leave like I announced earlier. I just want to say I'm sorry, Mr. Minikazi, I'm going to miss your presentation, but I was fully supportive of this program 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and I still won't be able to vote on it today, but I am supportive. I just want you to know that.
Thank you, Mr. Payne.
Have a good night, Lee.
Thank you.
Okay, Rick, the floor is yours.
Muted.
Okay,
You're on
hear you
mute,
again.
Rick.
Oh, you're on mute, thankfully. You're on mute, Rick. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
There
Can
we
you
go.
hear me now?
We can hear you.
Better, okay. Thank you for the introduction, Bill, and thank you everyone for assembling late into the day to visit with me. I really do appreciate it. I think Bill did a great job of giving an overview of the project. The project has been going on for longer than I certainly care, and for the village as well. Quick history is we were really close to starting this project mid-2020 when COVID hit. And the project was going to be about a $36 to $38 million project at the time. And initially started off as 79 hotel rooms. They were going to be much larger rooms. But once we got the costs back when we re-engaged to develop the hotel, we learned that prices had escalated significantly and that we needed to value engineer the hotel, number one, and one of the ways we did that was by increasing the number of keys from 79 to 100 to try to make it more affordable. To give everyone a sense of costs in the hospitality business, if you're not overly familiar with it, I have the great fortune of owning and operating the Thayer Hotel at West Point as well, and have been doing so since 2009. So over the course of the last 16 years, I've learned an awful lot about the West Point community, Highland Falls, and its economic ecosystem, and what really is needed within the village to make Highland Falls the gem of the Hudson Valley that it can be. And the sense that I'd like to give you is that the Thayer Hotel, which is a historic, beautiful property and has had significant renovation done to it over the course of the last 16 years, is probably valued at around $400,000 a key, which is per door. And, you know, based on the quality of project that we're looking to create there in Highland Falls, if it were to be developed here in Austin, Texas, where I live, it'd probably be about a $425,000 per door hotel. Our costs to build it, though, in Highland Falls, New York, is around $630,000 a door. So to right on its face value, you can see that economically, it's a significant stretch in order to make a project like that work operationally once you get going. And so therefore, it becomes extremely critical for us to gain the support and incentives of the Orange County IDA. And I'm incredibly appreciative of the support that you've provided and given us in the past. And I'm hopeful that we can find a way here to help bridge this significant increase in costs that we've achieved over time. So we have been working very aggressively with our architects and our engineers in order to how to try to help keep the costs in line with this $63 million proposal that we have, which quite honestly is a little bit outdated, but I do monitor the cost of materials and the cost of labor throughout the United States as well as in New York. And over the course of the last 2 years, we've not seen significant jumps like we saw post-COVID. So I'm pretty confident that our costs will come in right around where we are. So I'll pause there and see if there's any questions based on anything I've said thus far.
And Rick, I'm gonna pull up a rendering of the hotel just so people get a look, okay?
Questions,
Great.
anybody?
The question that I have is, what would be the anticipated start date for
That's not
something
it.
like this?
Of construction?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a great question. So one of the things that has happened along the way is the village of Highland Falls has reworked its zoning. And this beautiful hotel that's now up on the screen, this 100-room hotel, by the way, it's got a 5,000 square foot spa, full service spa in it. And it also has about 3,000 square feet of office space, a full restaurant. Up on that top floor that you see there, it has a bourbon bar that walks out to an upper deck porch area. It was located in what was previously called the B3 zone of the village of Highland Falls. And that B3 zoning allowed for a mixed-use hotel to be developed in that zone. Back in 2025, January of 2025, the village reworked its zoning and did away with the B3 zone and grandfathered all projects that were approved by the planning board, which included our hotel, for 18 months to get a building permit to be approved, fully stamped by the planning review board to then draw your building permit. So the timeline forward from January 2025 on 18 months basically brings us to August of this year. So on July 31st, I think it might be August 12th actually, the B3 zone ceases to exist. And so we need to have planning review board resolution and signed documentation by that date. and we are tracking to do that. The only thing remaining for us to complete, getting the signature of the planning review board at this point, in order to then be able to apply for our building permit, is the signature on the developer's agreement with the Village of Highland Falls, which we're currently negotiating. The other thing that needs to happen is this hotel is being built on 7 different parcels. Those parcels need to be joined into one single parcel for the hotel, and that's literally filling out a form. So that's kind of where we are in the process. So presuming that we're able to sign a developer's agreement and we're able to join the lots by August 1st, that would then put us in a position to apply for our building permit come August 1st of this year. The building permit on this particular hotel, the timeline for it, in my estimation, for this small village is probably going to take 5 months. The reason I say that is because I currently submitted a building permit for another project that I'm working on in the village, which is the restoration of a 1863 church into a beautiful restaurant and bar. I submitted that building permit in February in hopes of getting started in April with my construction, and it's still under review, and we haven't even received initial comments because it's a very small building inspector's office, and they have limited capabilities to review high-end projects like this and require third-party consultation, and then they're in line with everybody else who they're reviewing. So I would say if you added 6 months to August, when I submit my building permit, we would probably likely get a building permit in February or March, which would be ideal because then we could break ground immediately probably in April realistically. Now, I'm hopeful that timeline could be accelerated, but I'm just trying to be realistic based on firsthand experience of a much smaller project that's underway.
Thank you.
Since your initial approvals were back in 2020, you've already had a public hearing, right? But we would need a new one.
A public hearing with IDA?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, correct.
Oh, yeah,
Would need
yeah,
it.
I came there and presented and had a public hearing. I believe it was a public hearing when I presented. There were a lot of people in the room.
Yeah.
There were probably about 30 people in the room back then when I did that. Yes.
I think your first public hearing was here, and then we held one in the senior center or whatever it was in Highland Falls in '22 on the additional sales tax.
Yes.
exemption.
Yes, that's right. Thank you for the reminder. That's right. We did hold one in the senior center.
So will there be another hearing then for this?
There will be, definitely, yeah.
How was the project received back then?
Oh, the village is extremely excited about the project. The community is very excited about the project. Everybody recognizes that, I mean, the hotel that you just saw the photo of is literally 100 yards away from the Thayer Gate entrance to West Point. And it's only, 200 yards away from our current hotel. So these two hotels will work synergistically to basically serve as the cornerstones to make Highland Falls a destination for the tri-state area.
Mm-hmm.
And there are other projects, like I just mentioned, my church project is underway and going to be done. Recently, a new bar and grill was built in Highland Falls called Westies. And there's another development right across the street from our hotel, which is going to be a 40-unit apartment building mixed use that the Association of Graduates of West Point spearheaded, and it's since sold to a construction company. So there's great momentum based on the development of this hotel, and I believe that other parcels on the main street of the village of Highland Falls will follow suit, and it will become a very beautiful, walkable, livable north part of town.
Rick, can you talk a little bit more about the importance of the incentives financially for you, especially at this current iteration of the plan and the financials?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I touched on it in when I mentioned the cost per key
Yeah.
to give an indication. And so that is significant. And when we're leaning forward, quite honestly, being transparent, part of the group that's going to be with me on developing this hotel, we have in essence a bit of a philanthropic mindset here. It is definitely not a build it and they will come and you will make money. I promise you I can make this investment in a lot of other parts of the world and actually know that I'm going to make money on the deal, which is important. But in this particular case, because we're all graduates of West Point, we want to ensure that West Point has the appropriate welcome mat as the village outside of its gates. Bill mentioned earlier Annapolis. Annapolis, Maryland, if you haven't been there, is an absolutely wonderful town. And it sits right outside of the United States Naval Academy. And Colorado Springs, Colorado sits at the gates of the Air Force Academy. And so West Point is constantly competing for cadets, athletes, coaches, and professors, all of whom have the opportunity to go to the other service academies. And when they come for their site visits and they come through Highland Falls, it's a bit of a disappointment, and they're looking around and saying, this is the community within which I'm going to live. And so we want to bolster that community. We want to make it the historic, beautiful village that it can be, right outside of the place where Washington had his encampment during the Revolutionary War, right amidst all of the historic history that's there in Fort Montgomery and Highland Falls, right on the banks of the Hudson River where the Revolutionary War was run. So this is an amazing location. This is an amazing story. And if we can get the momentum to get our development, along with all the other developments built, this can be the diamond of the Hudson Valley. And with 2 hotels that represent 251 rooms, with an hotel restaurant, a 5,000 square foot spa, in concert with the 71 par 18 hole West Point Golf Course that was built by prisoners of war from World War II, Woodbury Common only 15 minutes away, Purple Heart Museum, Bosco Bell, the Culinary Institute of America, all within 15 minutes of West Point. This can drive so much tourism to Highland Falls as a staycation. People will come from what I would call the quad state area, from all parts of New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, to come here to spend multiple days to engage in Orange County.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Yeah, I can't agree more. I was always wondering why the town didn't expand. There's so many cadets, and as people know, well, both my son and my nephew graduated from West Point. And going to visit, et cetera, I could never understand why the town didn't grow with the visitors, et cetera. And the fact that a lot of the cadets, people may or may not know that they're only allowed to be 5 miles outside of the gates on weekends, et cetera. And it was always very limited where you could go. I could never understand why it wouldn't expand. And I think this is a great project, and I look forward to it. And I've been to the other academies as well. And I can't agree with you more that we want a place here right at Highland Falls to be proud of, to go into one of the academies that we have here. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mark?
I feel strongly that we don't have enough hotel space in Orange County. With that said, this is something way different. This is just an exceptional opportunity for the county and for Highland itself. Recovering from the just absolutely devastating floods that they had a few years ago, I think this will be a tremendous cornerstone to help rebuild, revitalize that town, and I couldn't be sold more to do everything we can to try and make this happen.
Thank you, Mark. Anything, Giovanni?
I had a personal office there for a year. It's a great little village. It has tremendous opportunity. The foundation, the bones are great. I can absolutely see how this could have such an impact, not only to Highland Falls, but that part of the county completely. This is a game changer, and that's why I think sometimes it's difficult when we try to get pigeonholed and says, no, you guys shouldn't consider any hotels. It's not black and white all the time, right? This is definitely much more than just a hotel.
Thank you.
And I just want to be clear that,
You okay, Doc? Yes. Okay, thanks.
that you're not authorizing any financial assistance right now, just authorizing a public hearing, it's what you'd be voting.
Yes.
And that's through the inducement resolution.
Correct.
Should you review that briefly, or Lino?
Sure, how would you like to?
Rudy, get to work.
The inducement resolution in all of your packets really sets forth everything that we've heard today. It's a project for a hotel at a cost of $63 million. They're saying that they will have 79 full-time jobs created after this project is completed, and they are looking for sales tax exemptions in the amount of $4,362,000 approximately, as well as $354,000 in mortgage recording tax exemptions, and a pilot through the standard UTEP 10-year policy that you have. So yeah, this is just to authorize a public hearing and then come back at a later date for authorization.
So Bill, can you tell me the process of when we do our study for the enhancements for this, like for the?
Yeah, we'll start the cost benefit analysis right away. We work with the Orange County Real Property Department to develop a pilot schedule, so that all plays into exactly what the costs are, so to speak.
Right, we don't have that yet, but we will
No,
have that.
we will. That's what we'll be doing. Once you authorize it, that kind of triggers me to start all that.
Thank you.
And this resolution doesn't state the public hearing date, it just
No,
authorizes
it
it.
authorizes, well, it induces you to do it, right, exactly,
Yeah,
that's the
okay.
first step. It's
We'll
not-
work with the applicant in the town and the village to schedule that.
Correct.
Anything else? Would anyone care to make the motion
I'll make the
to
motion.
adopt the resolution? By Giovanni, second by Mark. Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, would you want to roll call on this, or we're okay?
I think you're okay. Just-
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried, 6 with 1 absence.
Two absent.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
there's
two
two
now. Right,
Yeah,
five,
thank you for finding that.
Thank you.
5-2.
Rick, thanks for joining us. We're moving along here, so we're gonna keep going. Kelly and I will be in touch to schedule the public hearing. Did he freeze right now?
Thank you all for your time and for your support. I'm incredibly appreciative. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank
Speak to you
you.
soon.
Best
Bye-bye.
with the project.
Thank you.
Moving to Silver Lake Ridge Developers. Bill, would you tee up this application?
Sure. As you know, we added housing to our UTEP late in, I think, end of '24, early '25. We did that for the reasons that have been talked about at length, the reasons that the president of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York talked about at length. We're trying to combat the housing crisis, and it is a real crisis, and IDAs around the state are doing what they can to help it. So that's why we added it to our UTEP, and we wholeheartedly promoted it. And I've spoken to probably, 12 to 15 projects or potential projects about seeking IDA incentives. This is our first actual application. So I've been talking to Mr. Jeremias for a few months now, and it all came together, and excited to present it to you. It's a 124 unit apartment complex off Silver Lake Scottstown Road in the town of Wallkill. It is included a number of luxury units, but in order to meet the requirements of our UTEP for housing, 10% of the units, so 12 units, will be offered at 60% of the county's area median income. So we do have Mr. Michael Jeremias and Helen Pidio, Helen, you've done the design really,
Yes.
for the most part, right? So, and it is gorgeous, so I'm looking forward to showing some of those renderings. But if you would, Mr. Jeremias, if you'd come up and just talk a little bit more about the project, where you stand with it, and then we'll get into the importance of IDA incentives, okay? Now maybe over here, if you would, either right behind these gentlemen. That can work if you're comfortable there, we just don't want you blocked, right there is perfect. There, you're on the camera now, so, or you can come right up front if you like, whatever you like.
whatever.
Welcome.
To give you a little history, we bought this property in 2004. That was a failed project at that time. It was, if you remember, the real estate crash in 2000. So we bought it from a developer that failed, and it was 56 single-family lots. So we figured it's 56 lots, it's approved, it's already a filed map. I remember getting 56 tax bills every month after we bought it. But unfortunately what happened, because it was a failed project, the guy put in the main road, it created wetlands, and all of a sudden now we have problems. Not all of them are buildable. So it took us 2-3 years to go through the process, and was downscaled in order to accommodate the wetlands requirements to 42 lots. After that, so ready to start, go out and bid a project, the site work was horrendous. There's no way I can build a project and sell 42 single-family homes based on the site work that was at the time. I'm talking about 2007, whatever. Then the 2007-2008 crash came, so we had to shelve the project. Now we're gonna, things started to improve a little bit. We started to design it as 86 townhouses. So by the time that was done, the financing was a problem, and it still couldn't make it happen. So we shelved it again. Then in 2020, we changed it now to a rental project, and when interest was low. So we got approved 124 units, and as, again, site work is horrendous in this project, and it was hardly makes sense, but as soon as I was trying to push it through, but as soon as interest started climbing up, again, the project is, so I kept on getting extensions from the town, because the approval expired already, and they kept on warning us, this is the last time, but I still got it. Till now, they told us last year, in November, this is really the last time, otherwise you have to go back and start fresh with everything new. So fortunately, I got in touch with somebody who introduced me to Bill. And the biggest problem is, in building apartments, is you have to see what the takeout amount will be. How, after you build it, you pay off the construction loan, and see if there's a certain amount of, they call it the SCR, according to the income and expense that you can survive. So when I got an estimate from the tax department in town of Walker, it was like $650,000 the taxes a year. It's impossible to make it work. That's when, so we're breaking our heads what to do next. So as I said, I got introduced with Bill, and it became a real game changer. Now, as a developer, I've been developing in this county, Orange County, Dutchess County, and Rockland County for the last 25 years. The last 5 years, we shifted courses to more luxurious type of high-rise construction in New Rochelle. We've done a few beautiful projects, probably one of the most nicest buildings in New Rochelle. So I get a feel for, building something with a taste, with, special with amenities. Helen is gonna present it soon. So it's an interesting type of a community. I think it's gonna be a game changer for the area, and especially, we want to put in the requirements, what's needed for, for affordable housing. And I hope that we can get this approved in the time that I can file a map before November. Otherwise, this is going to expire again. It's a total different, I wouldn't know how to go to a lender with the current situation, because I couldn't make the numbers work. But hopefully, if we get this in time, I have to post a bond for like a 7 million bond. It's all linked together with the financing of the project. So hopefully we can, with your support, we can get this. So first, I forgot to say thanks for give me the opportunity for being here and presenting this. And I heard a lot of good things about Bill and Orange County IDA in general. And it's really, you're really making people...
Flattery will get you nowhere, I promise you that.
No, I'm trying to say, you're really making projects happening. I just listened to the story about the hotel. I mean, it's very interesting, and this is really having making projects happening. It's just, it helps for the economy, helps for everything. So, any
Any questions?
questions?
You brought up luxury apartments. Can you define what luxury would be in your mind? I mean, are these, I know that 12 have to be affordable, so does it market rate for?
No, I meant to say luxury until that it's not a market. I meant to say, like if you can see the presentation of the amenities, it's kind of creating an environment of open space, walking trails,
Okay.
and the property is 30 acres and only about less than half is being developed. You'll see it on the plan.
Mhm.
I mean, it's identified as luxury to create something different, more exciting, but it's not like, it's all based on market rate, because you can't come here with something that's not gonna rent. It's basically the demographics for how we're going through is.
I think I may be able to answer some of those questions.
Okay, great.
Can you tell me, like, so they're all rentals, right? Month to
Yeah.
month rentals, whatever? Any, like, what are the ranges of rent? The ranges of rent, any idea what that's gonna be yet?
I was probably in the range between 2,500 to 3,000, because we have 2 beds, we have loft spaces, people can live and work, in the same unit, so that range. It's based on market conditions. We cannot go more than the market anyway, because no lender is gonna finance something,
Anybody else? Because is she gonna speak?
Helen, did you
On the
want to
other
add
hand.
anything?
Sure, I'd love to add something.
Please,
Okay.
stand, please.
Thank you.
This is your beautiful work we're showing off, right?
So, yes. This is my, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Helen Pidio. This is my first time speaking in a group like this. Typically, I'm talking to developers, engineers, architects. My company is Helen Pidio Interiors. We're based out of Dutchess County. I've done a lot of work in Orange County. I know Linda Muller very well. I worked for
Cornerstone?
Cornerstone before it was Cornerstone.
Okay, sure.
Over the
Great Mountain
years.
Valley Family Health Center.
Yep. I also did the Kaplan Family Hospice residence over the years. I do a lot of work in the area. This is a new relationship for Mr. Jeremias and I. I was hired by him to assist this particular community. We do a lot of community design. We don't design apartments, I don't call it that. We design a community and a lifestyle. While I'm in agreement with the gentleman who was here earlier, who believes in purchased housing, I'm a strong believer in that everybody needs to live in a great place. So what Mr. Jeremias has brought to the table is an opportunity from my company to design a project that offers a lifestyle, a place where people can say, I'm home and want to be there. The community has lovely size apartments, which seems like a minor thing, but no, a good amount of space is important in your space. The amenities are lifestyle amenities. We're offering a clubhouse that they can have crafts in, and sewing and knitting, and co-working space if they're working from home, a fitness area, a dog spa we're calling it, because we're gonna be fancy, but it's really a dog washroom. Outdoor pool, outdoor movie theater, multi-purpose basketball, pickleball courts. We're offering a Zen garden, a place where you can't bring your cell phone, because I feel children need a place to go to these days to play and have active elements of space without using technology. So my company designs a lifestyle. We're not just designing a rental, okay? We have designed affordable, we have designed market rate. I did the old Reader's Digest building in Westchester, which is Chappaqua Crossing. That is affordable and market rate. So yes, it is a luxury, but it's attainable luxury. It is, a lot of younger people don't want home ownership. They don't. Okay, there's much more of a transient lifestyle today, but they want a good lifestyle. Empty nesters, young families just starting. They want a place where they can call home that offers more than just open the door, shut your door, and that's it. So our list of amenities, because I'm very proud of them: hospitality bar, co-working space, these are all elements in the club room. Fitness center, game room, where you could play billiards, or we have shuffleboard going in there too. Clubhouse outdoor barbecue area, lawn game area, fire pit lounge, movie lounge. They don't have to leave, okay? All for the same amount of rent they're gonna pay elsewhere. And for the community recreation areas, we have multi-court obstacle course, pavilion and grill area, Zen garden, dog park, and walking trail. It's a reason to want to be in Orange County. It's a reason to want to live there, not just rent an apartment. Any questions for me?
Questions for Helen? Looks very nice.
Great, thanks. Very proud of it.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And we have a inducement resolution for this project. Rudy, would you maybe just cover that quick?
Absolutely. As you've heard, this is a proposal for a 124 unit garden-style residential rental community. The project cost is approximately $40,725,000. Applicant is seeking up to $970,000 approximately in sales tax exemptions and $240,000 in mortgage recording tax exemptions, as well as the pilot benefit for the pursuant to the residential component in the UTEP agreement. And this is also, like the previous application, is a inducement resolution authorizing the scheduling of a public hearing with the authorizing resolution to follow.
Thank you. Would anyone care to make a motion on this? Mark, thank you.
I'll second.
Giovanni, any other questions, comments? If not, I'll call the question. All in favor of the inducement resolution for Silver Lake Ridge Developers LLC? Please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? I have 5 in favor, 2 absent.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, good luck with the
Thank you.
Thank you,
project.
Michael. Talk to you soon. Thank
Take
you,
care. And lastly on our agenda is the Civic Serve presentation. Bill, please introduce that.
Okay, so yes, this is actually a software platform, CivicServe, that is used by municipalities, by IDAs, other economic development agencies. It is used by a number of our colleagues out there right now, so that's one of the items I was alluding to when I said I'm looking forward to the conference, and got to talk to fellow CEOs and others about best practices. This is an example of that. What this can do, it can first of all be a true CRM, customer relationship management system, which we don't really have outside of Microsoft Outlook right now. So it would be that. It also would allow us to automate our the entry of applications. They would do it electronically, come right on into the system. We don't have to retype those things. It would be fed right into other systems that we need. It also helps automate reporting, not automate, but streamline reporting. And I think it really, maybe most, let me let Will in, a representative from CivicServe. I think it would help us with compliance as well. It really would provide some systems that really allow us to bring all of our data together in one repository and be able to extract that information in an organized fashion. So Will Jackson is a representative for CivicServe. Will, thanks for joining us. Thanks for your patience also. I'm going to warn you, you got a little weary group here. It's been a long meeting already, so I'm sorry to put you at the end. You and I were just texting about how to handle this, but if you can share your screen and advance it on your own, I think that might be the way to go. But Will has a PowerPoint. I'm not looking for any decision tonight. This is just to orient the board on a platform we're looking at. It is significant expense on an annual basis, so it's something we would budget for 2027, but something I'm doing our diligence on, so we wanted to give Will the opportunity to share it with the entire board.
And you and I had a call with him last week, so I've gotten a little idea what it's about.
And Marty and I have had a session with him as well. So, Will, thanks for joining us. Want to make sure we can hear you?
Yeah.
Terrific. You're
Yeah.
right there.
Testing. Everything. Can you guys hear and see the screen?
We're good to go. Looks terrific. All right. The floor is yours.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thanks for allowing me to join the tail end of the board meeting here. I'm a pretty fast talker, so I'll keep it brief. Feel free just to holler, slow down if needed. But really appreciate you guys allowing me to join here. My name's Will, located just south of you guys here in central Pennsylvania. Joining from CivicServe, and I've had the pleasure to speak with Bill and Marty and Jeff, some in person, some virtual. But I'll go ahead and dive in. CivicServe is an economic development and an IDA software and platform. We work with a lot of IDAs and EDOs throughout the state of New York, as well as throughout the country. We actually just had a board meeting earlier today that we joined, and the board approved us and we signed on. So second board meeting here of the day, and just brought another IDA on earlier here this morning. But I'll go ahead and jump in. Let me know if you guys have any issues. But essentially, as I mentioned earlier, and as Bill was kind of alluding to, what we really set out to build was a platform specifically for IDAs and economic development that got folks out of manual processes, spreadsheets, different systems, and essentially brought together all the work that EDOs and IDAs do to ensure compliance, to make sure that data, systems, peoples, applications, financial information all live in one space, and to really help reduce some of the manual rework and automate some of the different processes that different EDOs and IDAs go through. Couple of different IDAs that we work with here, Livingston County, Greene County, Chautauqua County, Operation Oswego County IDA, Monroe County IDA as well. I know that Bill had the opportunity to speak with them about their experience with CivicServe here. I'll keep it brief here and certainly won't divulge into all of these slides. I believe they were made available prior to this, but 4 really large areas that we sit with and work and support on in particular with IDAs. That's going to be compliance, right? So all of those individual obligations, all of those individual agreements that are a part of some of those projects that our IDAs work, from what we've seen is a really manual process. Different types of spreadsheets, setting calendar reminders, notes, reminders, reaching out to all these businesses and developers, reminding them when they need to send something and how. We automate all of that. So we'll automate the notifications, the reminders, the follow-up, the compliance. We'll make it easier for the businesses and developers to submit the different types of information and documentation needed as well. And then obviously report to groups like the board and executive directors on where some of these projects sit with compliance. Very similar to that, we spend a lot of time reporting, whether that is reporting to the board, reporting end of year reports, reporting directly to Paris, and some of the audits. We also work directly with incentives. So we actually started many years ago as an incentive management platform, different pilots, abatements, bonds, loans, grants, and things like that. We start with the application, digitalizing those and getting those away from some of the traditional manual PDFs. We score those to make sure they align with the goals, the initiatives of some of those IDAs, and then we automate and set up some of the workflows for those incentives as well. And then the last is some of the business attraction and project management. We'll get into that here a little bit, but that's going to include things like managing projects from end to end, understanding where projects sit, what work has been done so far, and what work remains until projects are to be completed, and also the CRM, tracking those day to day, the back and forth, the site visits, the presentations with those individual businesses. I'll pause there for a quick second, or Bill, do you want me to save questions for the end?
Oh, no, you can pause whatever you like. Yeah, whatever the group.
Doing
Okay, I'll take a quick pause there and see if there's any questions from the group thus far.
I think we're good right now.
Keep going.
Wonderful. Well, what we did is we sat down with Bill and Marty and Jeff here and kind of looked at some of the areas. We're a modular platform, so every IDA, every EDO uses CivicServe for something slightly different. All of our customers do get the core platform, which is going to be the CRM, the lead management, project management, goal management, right? What are the goals and the initiatives of the IDAs and how do we track our progress to them? And the data management as well. So we're able to provide business data from things like revenue to industry to employee size to how companies are doing financially on all the businesses that you work with. We're also, kind of dove into the incentives, so some of the abatements, bonds, pilots, exemptions, and things like that. And also the ecosystem as well. So making sure that, Bill and his entire team, the board, even tapping into some of the other Orange County's EDOs, are able to kind of use things and work together synergistically. And then also the analytics side of things, right? Some of that reporting and intelligence that we alluded to here a little earlier. I'll kind of go through these fairly quickly here, but as I mentioned, the CRM is part of our platform, so we're able to understand all of the contact, all of the files, all of the documentation, the back and forth that we have with all the businesses and projects, log those in one place so that everyone knows exactly where the relationship and the project stands with all of the different businesses and developers we work with. It's also going to include the project management side of things. So you'll see here in this image, there's a timeline that's really saying, where is this project at today? What funds have been allocated? When's this project supposed to wrap up? What work has been so far? And what are the next steps that we have in this project? You'll also be able to, of course, keep all of the files, the documentation, the compliance, the financial side of things, all tied to one project, so that someone can quickly come in there and see exactly where a particular project stands. On top of that, as I alluded to, and Jeff and I and Bill talked a little bit about last week here, was the goal management, being able to set up those goals and track progress to them on a quarterly and annually basis, as well as the data management too. So like I said, you'll have the pre-populated businesses and data of Orange County businesses and developers and kind of be able to understand where some of those sit. You'll also get monthly updates to substantial changes that those businesses have. You know, that will include things like significant revenue changes, you know, maybe they laid off 20% of their workforce. Some of those key changes, the staff will get updated and notified on a monthly basis. And then annual reporting, as I alluded to, that's going to be monthly reports to the board. That's going to be able to help the staff be able to contribute and add and compile their information for Paris come March. And then anytime throughout the year, we'll be able to do, you know, one-off project reports. We have custom reporting, so if different board members have an area of interest for particular portions of the IDA, you'll be able to set up custom reports and send them to those prior to board meetings here. Next piece we'll jump through kind of quickly here is just the incentive management side of things. So we work with all different types of incentives, but really managing them end to end, from the application to understanding how they fit within the IDA scope, to be able to verify things like eligibility and compliance, and to be able to track all details of the projects and then of course report on them. There's going to be things like audit trails, compliance, so reminders will automatically go out to those businesses and developers, saving your staff time. You'll be able to see precisely when things were submitted. Due dates and reminders and notifications will be sent both, you know, to IDA staff and as well as the businesses and developers that are working hand in hand with you. And then of course there's the state reporting side of things. So obviously just coming out of Paris here a couple of months ago, it's a really heavy manual process. We're working to be able to support directly as to some of those different areas that Paris requires every year. I'll end with just a couple of pieces here. So we directly integrate with things like Outlook, email, calendar to make that seamless transition. We also pipe in GIS information so that with projects and businesses, you'll be able to see things like parcel information, who owns this land, assessment values, and other things like that. Last piece that I wanted to talk about here was the onboarding. It's typically one of the most important pieces. As you'll see there on the left-hand side of this slide, we kind of have a 10-step onboarding, but CivicServe does all the implementation, all the configuration, all the setup. So we will take all of the current IDA projects, applications, data, information, Excel spreadsheets, pictures of whiteboard, things that might be on paper, and we will set that up in the platform and then turn it back over to Bill and Marty and make sure it looks exactly what they would like. From there, we'll go ahead and do the training of the staff, and we'll transition them after that to our customer success team. So there's unlimited support from the CivicServe side of things. Any questions, whether those are technical, maybe new programs or new goals come out in 2027 for the Orange County IDA, CivicServe will be able to support the addition of those things as well. This is kind of just a mapping of what that implementation looks like. I won't dive into that with the details. And then I've included a couple of sample links. These are clickable links, so please feel free afterwards to click these, watch their 2 or 3 minute videos of a couple of key pieces in the platform. But that's what I have here for today. Again, I really appreciate you guys taking the time. And if there's any questions that percolate, I know I will be at NYSE DC conference next week. And I think Bill and Jeff will be there as well, and I'm happy to answer them there.
We're gonna catch up there for sure.
Excellent, very efficient, Will, thank you. Questions for Will?
No.
Lot to consider.
Yeah,
Mark?
I mean, it seems like this is becoming specific for IDAs.
Yes.
You've done your due diligence, you've talked to other IDAs, I'm assuming they'll pay out for the positive reviews.
They have, and I'll talk to more.
Anything that can help us, you know, continue with our transparency and best practices, you know, you make the decision, you're the CEO.
Thank you. I'll keep you
You
posted.
got something, Dean? You good?
No, I'm good. I mean, yeah, I think I'm very comfortable with it.
Yes, okay, thank you, Doc. yeah, I think there's a lot to consider here, Will, and looks quite valuable and efficient. Thank you for that presentation.
We'll talk more in Cooperstown.
Wonderful.
Have a good night.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you next
Will,
week.
thanks a
Have a
lot.
wonderful
Enjoy the rest
Wednesday
of your
night. Thank you
conference
all.
down there.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Anything else need to come before our meeting?
Did we
Tonight.
do our approvals of the financials?
Yeah, I
Yes.
think we did the approvals,
I
right?
tied them
right.
in with the committee report.
Right.
Um,
No, we're set.
I have something I'd like to say before we adjourn.
Okay, Mark.
This goes out to all the citizens of Orange County. It is imperative that you fully understand what is happening to your future. Brian Sandvidge of Anshin at 3 Times Square in New York City and another mysterious, unidentified stakeholder are deciding the future of Orange County. Not your elected school boards, not your elected county officials, not your elected town boards or city mayors. This charlatan from Albany, who is appointed, along with a nebulous, masked figure, are both working hand in hand to decide the future of Orange County. Who is this cloaked stakeholder that Anshin refuses to ID, but yet try to charge the taxpayer of Orange County to meet with? Why does he or she hide in the shadows? Why are they so afraid to show their face to the citizens of Orange County? It is because Brian Sandvidge of Anshin and this unnamed person know they are doing wrong. They know they can't tell you their name because they are doing is so wrong, they are ashamed and afraid of telling you. How much is Mr. Sandvidge and Anshin paying this hidden individual to decide the future of Orange County? These two are working behind the scenes to decide what business comes to Orange County, or more importantly, what businesses do not come to Orange County. Future jobs for our children, future tax bases denied, future school improvements jeopardized. All being decided by this carpetbagger from Albany and a person so terrified to announce themselves they're using any means necessary to hide from you. These two people do their back alley deals, terrified to let you know who they are and what they are doing. Brian Sandvidge from Anshin is a snake oil salesman from history that would ride into a Dust Bowl town and convince the citizens that he alone could make it rain, and once the money was taken, slip out in the middle of the night. Brian Sandvidge does not live in Orange County. He lives in Albany. His kids don't go to school with our kids. They go to private school in Albany. He doesn't go to church with us. He doesn't sit in on the PTA with us. He doesn't even pay taxes in Orange County. He doesn't know the name of a single citizen in Orange County that doesn't sit around this table. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't know you. He doesn't even like you. That's why he lives in Albany instead of here. All he cares about is him continuing to get his $1.5 million payday from the Orange County taxpayer. Citizens of Orange County, start asking any person that wants your vote for whatever position they are running for in Orange County why we are wasting millions of dollars on this charlatan. When Kathy Okel comes to town on her once every 4-year tour to beg for your vote, ask her why Orange County is the only county in the entire state to be penalized millions of dollars, and what did we do to cause this punitive burden? To the supposed news outlets of our area, do your jobs. Follow the money and tell the citizens of this county what is happening here. For God's sakes, at least ask him a simple question when he tells you the IDA needs oversight. Ask him why. Ask him, Mr. Sandwich, have you ever found a T not crossed? No. Have you ever found an I not dotted? No. The state of New York cannot provide a single recommendation to us to better our state-mandated financial filings called parish reporting. An independent, state-mandated auditor has run out of recommendations on how the IDA can provide better transparency. The only reason Mr. Sandvidge and Anshin at 3 Times Square in New York City says the IDA needs oversight by him is so that he can keep the $1.5 million money train rolling right into his pocket. To the Attorney General and the Inspector General, if you truly feel that you must penalize only Orange County and no other county in New York, then please do your duty and remove this charlatan. He has no integrity and has proven time and time again he will say and do anything to keep that money flowing into his pocket. Please replace him with someone that at least has an ounce of integrity. We deserve better in Orange County. Please, somebody, listen to us. Thank you.
Anything else for tonight's meeting? A motion to adjourn would be appreciated.
I make the motion.
By Giovanni, second by Dean. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Meeting adjourned at 6:58.